everyone, my name is Rebecca. Welcome back to my kitchen. You're watching Non-Stop Kids Entertainment TV. I couldn't wait to get back in my kitchen after a whole week, and I know you guys feel the same. But you guys have heard this spiel before, so go and get your guardian up here and let's get started. Woo!
Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be making some roasted vegetable soup and some puppy buns. Start off with our ingredients. We've got our potatoes. This is the main ingredient. You're going to need quite a lot of potatoes. Got some olive oil, 1 parsnip, 2 spring onions, 2 carrots, 1 leek, and some vegetable stock. And for the buns, I'm going to be using a bread mix. You can make your own bread from scratch, but I'm just going to use this and follow the ingredients on the back. Simple enough. For our equipment, we're going to be needing a baking tray, a large saucepan, a wooden spoon, and a smaller container for the chicken stock, preferably something that measures in mils. Before we get started, you want to line and grease your baking tray, just like this. And don't forget to wash your hands. I say this every week, wash them really well. Preheat your oven to 180 degrees. God, this is a very common temperature in these recipes, isn't it? So we're going to be using knives in a sec, so don't forget to get a parent or guardian if you need some help. So I'm just going to grab my chopping board and my carrots. Now for the next couple of minutes, there's just going to be clips of me chopping up vegetables. They're speeded up, but I just wanted to show you guys how I chopped all my vegetables. Show you that they don't need to be too big, they don't need to be too small, they don't need to be perfect. They're going to be boiled and blended up anyway, so don't worry too much. Just doing my parsnip now. 1 parsnip is enough, it's very overwhelming flavour. Now the leek. Place them all on the baking tray after you finish chopping them right away. Spring onions. Them up real small. Now for our potatoes. Potatoes should be the main thing in the dish. We want them to be the most of. So if you're going to have one thing that's like quite a lot of and the rest not so much, make it potatoes because they're a very mellow flavour and won't overpower anything else in the soup. Now for our onion. I'm just going to take my baking tray from earlier and my olive oil. And I'm just lightly covering the vegetables with the olive oil. It's about 3 to 4 tablespoons. I just kind of eyeballed it. Next we're going to take our salt and pepper. I got the salt and pepper from Morrison's and it's great. It's got a little bit of chili on it. You can add as many spices as you want. Just don't go overboard, okay? And we're just going to put that in the oven for about 15 minutes. You can add more or less vegetables than just the ones I've provided. For example, if you wanted to make a root vegetable soup, you could always take out the green stuff and add in a butternut squash, for example, or more parsnips. Completely up to you. On to the next step, we're just going to get our container for our stock and crush up our stock cubes. I noticed with the vegetable ones, they're a little bit more crumbly than the chicken and the beef. I wonder why. Add in your hot water and give that a little stir through. While I'm waiting for my vegetables, I'm going to have an attempt at doing my bread. So I'm using one of these easy to make packs where all you have to do is add in water to the flour. Easy peasy. For this you'll need a big bowl and of course your spoon. And we're just going to tip that in. Like I said, you can use your own bread recipe. There's plenty online. You just have to type in easy bread recipe. I'm just using this pack because it's a little bit easier, and I also wanted to give you guys alternatives because bread is honestly a very hard thing to get right. I've spent years trying to do the perfect bread loaf and I still have yet to accomplish it. My bread isn't that bad, but like I said, it takes a lot of time, a lot of practice and a lot of patience. And if you're up for the challenge, go right ahead. I've just added my water slowly until it started to form a dough ball. After that, I floured my surface. It's just plain white flour. And tipped it out. Now, my instructions say to leave for 5 minutes, so that's exactly what I did. During this time, I greased another baking sheet for my bread to go on. And now I'm starting to knead. So I've left it for 5 minutes, and now I'm just kneading and stretching and pulling, and you do this to develop the gluten inside of the bread so that it rises nicely in the oven and causes loads of little bubbles to form on the inside. That's what makes bread fluffy. Keep kneading until your arms hurt. And mine looks about ready. It should be nice and stretchy. I'm leaving mine for another 5 minutes like the instructions say. So I'm just going to put that to one side because I think my vegetables are ready to come out of the oven. So I'm just grabbing my saucepan and grabbing my vegetables. Remember, be very careful. These have just come out of the oven, so they're very hot. If you need to, get a parent or guardian to help you. Just going to tip them in nicely. I used a butter knife to do this. Now I'm just going to swish those vegetables around, make sure they're evenly distributed, and return on low heat for about 5 to 10 minutes, just so that the vegetables can sweat. I'm going to take my dough from earlier, and we're going to cut that in two. Remember, using a knife, go and grab your parent or guardian. And I'm going to take the one half and cut it in half again. Take our chicken stock from earlier and add that to our vegetables on the heat. I'm going to bring that to the boil and then let that simmer for about 20 minutes. Give it a nice stir every now and then. Back to our bread, getting our baking tray from earlier. Just going to take one of my dough balls and using a knife, grab a parent or guardian again to shape that. As you can see, I put 2 little slits either side. And I'm also using one of my raisins to press it in the indent for where I want the eyes and the nose to be on my puppy buns. I was also thinking, if you guys made bigger versions of these puppy buns, they could also be used as hot dog buns, and I think that would look really cute. Hot dogs, puppy buns, get it? Get your pastry brush and a little bit of milk. And we just want to lightly go over the top of them to give it a nice brown colour when they bake in the oven. We just want to grab some cling film in a second and put that lightly over the top and leave them for about 20 minutes to half an hour, somewhere lightly warm to rise. I'm going to grab my blender ready for my vegetables. And they look about done now, they're ready to come to heat. On the surface. Ooh, steam in the camera. Oh no. I'm just gonna grab my blender. Don't forget to get it through in the guardian. And blend away. If you find this a little bit thick, feel free to add a bit more water. Personally, I like this consistency. Instead of my dad, he likes a nice thick soup. Now grabbing our buns from earlier, you can see those have doubled in size. That's how you know they're ready to go into the oven. I'm peeling off the cling film. And I forgot to show myself putting on the oven, but it's 210 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. When they're ready, you can bring them out. And as you can see, my indents didn't stay so well while they baked. I'm just taking the end of a wooden spoon to re-poke in the indents. And I'm just taking some chocolate raisins. Not the best thing to go with soup, but I thought they looked really cute. And I'm putting them for 2 eyes and a little nose. And there we have it. Our soup and our puppy buns are done. I hope you all enjoyed this recipe once again. I can't wait to see you next week. And if you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like to see on the show, feel free to leave them down in the comments for me. I'd love to hear your feedback. And I'd love to hear what you're interested in baking. After all, this show is made for you. See you all again next week. Bye bye!